Well, hello and welcome once again to the Academic Quiz League. I'm your moderator, Ryan Jordan, and we're down to semifinal competition. This is a semifinal match between the teams from Trinity High School, and they take on the players from Grapevine High School. Talk it over. What are the two possible endings for regular plurals? What are the two possible endings for regular plurals? Talk it over. We'll take the response there from Jason.
S and ES.
Yes, S and ES correct for 2 points. Poetry, good. Poetry and public office, the category. To what U.S. governmental position was Finley Peter Dunn referring when he said, "You can't be sent to jail for it, but it's a kind of a disgrace"?
Trinity Shell.
Vice President.
Yes, Vice President, exactly right for 2 points. South America, the category. What South American nation is comprised of these four regions? The Andes, the Pampas.
Trinity Sangling.
Chile.
Incorrect response. I'll complete the question for Grapevine. These four regions, the Andes, the Pampas to the north, and Patagonia.
Grapevine, Mark.
Argentina.
Argentina correct for 2 points. Presidential elections is the category. Among his qualifications was the fact that he had never cast a vote in his life. He had worn a battered straw hat and got into the thick of every fight in the Mexican War. Who was old rough?
Trinity Sangling.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Incorrect. I'll complete the question for Grapevine. Who was old rough and ready?
Grapevine, Jason.
Taylor.
Yes, Zachary Taylor correct for 2 points. History of France is our next category. Henry II gained control of what huge section of France as a result of his marriage to Eleanor?
Grapevine, Jason.
Aquitaine.
Yes, correct for 2 points. Elections is the category. It's a toss-up question. If no candidate receives a majority of electoral votes in a
Trinity Shell.
House of Representatives.
Incorrect. I'll complete the question for Grapevine. If no candidate receives a majority of electoral votes in a presidential election, the House of Representatives chooses a president by voting not as individuals but as states. A majority of how many states is needed to elect?
Grapevine, Jason.
2/3.
Incorrect. We needed the number there. 26 is what we're looking for. Here's another toss-up dealing with American writers. It's a toss-up. Name the 20th century novelist who wrote these works: The Dark Arena, Fools Die, The Sicilian, The Godfather.
Grapevine, Jason.
Time's up. Puzo, Mario Puzo, okay? Here's another toss-up dealing with life on Earth. During which geologic era did both angiosperms and mammals become?
Trinity Brandon.
The Mesozoic.
Incorrect. I'll complete the question for Grapevine. But, did both angiosperms and mammals become prevalent on Earth?
Grapevine, Jason.
Cenozoic.
Cenozoic correct for 2 points entitles you to this bonus question dealing with primitive art. From what country did the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto get an art object called a carved Maori house post?
New Zealand.
New Zealand correct for 2 additional points and a nice round of applause. Back to the competition. Here's your question dealing with logic. What term in logic beginning with the letter A refers to a self-evident truth or a premise requiring no demonstration?
Grapevine, Jason.
An axiom.
Yes, correct for 2 points. Prefixes is the category. What is the meaning of the prefix in the words opposite and obstinate?
Trinity Shell.
Against.
Against is correct for 2 points. Here's a toss-up question dealing with areas and sectors. To the nearest integer, find the area of a 90-degree sector in a circle if the radius of the circle is equal to 4 yards. The nearest integer, find the area of a 90-degree sector in a circle.
Grapevine, Jason.
12.
Incorrect.
Trinity Brandon.
50.
Also incorrect, 13 square yards is the answer we're looking for. Here's another toss-up dealing with fictional characters. He appeared in such works as The House Without a Key, The Chinese Parrot, Behind That Curtain, and Keeper of the Keys. Name this character created by Earl Durr Biggers.
Grapevine, Eric.
Charlie Chan.
Yes, Charlie Chan, correct. It entitles Grapevine to this bonus question, dealing with national leaders. Talk it over. What nationality is shared by both Ronald Reagan and the Canadian Prime Minister? Talk it over. The nationality by both Ronald Reagan and the Canadian Prime Minister. Your response, please.
French.
Incorrect. Irish is what we're looking for. Back to the competition. Talk this one over because it's your bonus question, dealing with great battles. The battles of Agincourt and Crecy were fought during what war? The battles of Agincourt and Crecy were fought during what war? Your response, please.
War of the Roses.
War of the Roses, incorrect. 100 Years' War is what we're looking for. Back to the competition, dealing with famous Americans. Name the town in Nebraska, founded in 1917 by Father Edward J. Flanagan.
Lamar, Chris.
Boys Town.
Yes, Boys Town, correct. Music is the category. An instrumental introduction to a play or opera or oratorio is called an blank.
Lamar, BJ.
A Roman Polanski tune.
No, that's not right. Anyone from Bell? Time's up. You guys should have known this. Time's already up. Sorry. Overture is all we're looking for. Legal phrases is the category. Legal phrases. Events that occur purely through the operation of nature, unmixed with any human agency or human negligence, are known as what?
Dale, Stephen.
Acts of God.
Yes, acts of God is exactly correct. Psychology and personality is the category. Which of the three fundamental parts of the human personality acts as a censor or conscience, according to Freud?
Lamar, Robert.
The id, the ego, and the superego.
And that is an incorrect response.
Dale, Stephen.
The id.
Also incorrect. All we wanted was superego. Superego. Here's a toss-up dealing with toys and geometric figures. A convex quadrilateral in which two pairs of adjacent sides are equal, but whose opposite sides are not parallel, describes what common toy used mainly during the spring months?
Lamar, BJ.
Kite.
Kite is correct for 2 points, entitles you to this bonus question. Dealing with writing. Talk it over. What obvious literary error is found in this passage? Madam, I swear I use no art at all, that he is mad 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. A foolish figure, but farewell it, for I will use no art. What obvious literary error is found in that passage? Talk it over, and we need your response, please.
Contradiction.
Incorrect. Redundancy is what we're looking for. Back to the game, dealing with Native American history. The bowl was made of soapstone or red pipestone. The long ornamental stem was made from a reed. On ceremonial occasions...
Dale, Wade.
Peace pipe.
Incorrect. Let me complete the question for Lamar. On ceremonial occasions, it would be passed from hand to hand. What was the correct name for a peace pipe?
Lamar, Jennifer.
A hookah?
Incorrect. Calumet is what we're looking for. Atmospheric pressure. Am I correct on that, Judge? Atmospheric pressure is the category. The area where northern and southern trade winds meet is called the intertropical...
Bell, Sean.
The doldrums?
Incorrect. Let me complete the question for Lamar. Where those northern and southern trade winds meet is called the intertropical blank zone.
Lamar, BJ.
Trade zone.
Incorrect. Convergence. Convergence is what we're looking for. Painters is the category. He was a Flemish painter, particularly renowned for his portraits of full-length courtly figures such as Charles I hunting. He died in 1641.
Lamar, B.J.
Van Eyck.
Incorrect response. I'll complete the question for Bell. He died in 1641. A pointed beard is named after him. Who was he?
Bell, Wade.
Goatee.
Incorrect. Van Dyke. Sir Anthony Van Dyke. Known to his friends as Goatee. I'll tell you. Good guess, though. Good guess. World leaders is the category. Who said, from Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste?
Lamar, Chris.
Winston Churchill.
Yes, exactly right. Winston Churchill. Here's a toss-up question dealing with clauses. How many main clauses are in this sentence?
Bell, Mushtaq.
2.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's one of those things, if he missed it, they never would have forgiven him, but since he guessed exactly right, he'll be the hero of the day. 2 is correct. I won't even take time to read the question. What fictional character uttered these words? Fictional character. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? If you prick us, do we not bleed?
Grapevine, Jason.
Judas Maccabeus.
Incorrect response.
Lamar, Jennifer.
Shylock.
Shylock, correct for 2 points. Pollution is the category. Phosphates and nitrates entering a lake may cause the accelerated growth of microorganisms which may become so thick as to preclude light from reaching much below the surface. This rapid reproduction of algae is sometimes called an algal what?
Grapevine, Jason.
Explosion.
Incorrect.
Lamar, BJ.
Photo blocking.
Incorrect. Algal bloom is what we're looking for. Here's a toss-up. Forms of literature. Name the type of narrative song that celebrates such real or imaginative people as...
Lamar, BJ.
Ballad.
Ballad, correct for 2 points, and entitles you to this bonus question dealing with root words. What is the meaning of the root in this list of words? Exfoliation, trefoil, foil, portfolio, foliaceous, cinquefoil. Talk it over. The meaning of the root in that list of words.
Branch.
Incorrect. Leaf is what we're looking for. You were on the right track. History and Roman numerals. Listen carefully. The United States was at war with what nation in the year MDCCCXII?
Lamar, Robert.
Great Britain.
Yes, Great Britain, correct for 2 points. North American geography. How many U.S. states share a common border with Mexico?
Grapevine, Mark.
4.
4 is correct for 2 points. Literature and biology. What was the genus and species of a character in Kipling's Barrack Room Ballads known as Fuzzy Wuzzy?
Grapevine, Jason.
Ursa domesticus.
Incorrect. No response from Lamar. Homo sapiens is what we're looking for. Homo sapiens. Okay, air attacks is the category. The USS Panay was sunk in 1937 in China by the Air Force of what?
Grapevine, Mark.
Japan.
Japan, correct for 2 points. Here's a toss-up dealing with gravity. Toss-up. The differences between the expected and the measured values of gravity are referred to as gravity blank.
Grapevine, Jason.
Error.
Incorrect.
Lamar, Jennifer.
Difference.
Also incorrect. Anomalies is what we're looking for. Here's another toss-up dealing with animal anatomy. It is a flexible supporting rod along the back of an animal present at some time in their development.
Grapevine. Eric.
Notochord.
Yes, notochord is correct for 2 points and entitles you to this bonus question dealing with making crime pay. What crime has been committed, talk it over, what crime has been committed when Mary Brown uses her personal computer and laser printer to produce perfect replicas of $20 bills? Your response, please, Jason. What crime has been committed when you use your laser printer to produce perfect replicas of $20 bills?
Counterfeiting.
Yes, counterfeiting, correct for 2 points. Percentage, yes, give them a nice round of applause. Percentage is the category. Percentage is the category. Get your pencils ready. To reach the top of a 99-foot-high cliff, a climber's rope had to be increased by 32% of its length. How long was the rope in the first place? A 99-foot-high cliff. The climber's rope had to be increased by 32% of its length. How long was the rope in the first place?
Grapevine. Chris.
68 feet.
Incorrect response.
Lamar. Robert.
67 feet.
Also incorrect. 75 feet is the answer we're looking for. And let's move along to art styles. Name the style of decoration favored by the Moors that employed intricate patterns of stylized foliage.
Grapevine. Chris.
Mosaic.
Repeat your answer.
Mosaic.
No, that's incorrect. I'll complete the question for Lamar. That employed intricate patterns of stylized foliage and animal outlines depicted in elaborate geometrical designs.
Lamar. Lon.
Arabesque.
Arabesque, correct for 2 additional points. And that brings us to the end of the first half of play with Lamar 20, Grapevine 18. We've got a close match. We'll see the outcome during the next half hour or the next half of this game. Stay tuned.